Here we go. Game 1 against Red Blue Marco. Marco's going first. Starts off with his leader ability. We're going second. We have no plays. He swings 8. Going into our 4-on turn. Looks like it's going to be a great opportunity to ramp and curve out. It's OP Koa TCG coming at you with some PY pudding action. This deck is super strong. The way I see it, when it comes to the meta, you either play the meta, like Dofi, Lucci, or you play the decks that are going to beat the meta, like Enel. Well, Enel's not doing too well into Lucci. Or you beat the decks that beat the decks of the meta. And that's what PY Pudding does. Alright, let's get back into it. Okay. And we're back. Here we go. So, we are going to be going into our 7-Dawn turn. I mean, this is a great opportunity to drop Lin. He's swings 6. We're going to counter out. We don't want to go too low. Yep, and we're just going to pressure life. And drop our Lin. 7 drop Lin, curving out. Great for us. He gives us a life. It's pretty much the decision you should make most of the time unless you're an aggressive deck that's trying to rush us down. Okay, leader ability minusing Parasparrow. If anything, we would love him to take this out. So, let's see what he does. Okay, swings 8 in the face. And a little unfortunate, but we'll take it. We're at 4 life. And we hit the Lin off of that, which is huge. I'm going to put one of these Marcos back into life and just swing out. Probably going to trash one of these events. Onami could go as well. Yeah, and we put the Marco on top because, again, here's the theory. It's like, I'd rather give him a Marco than a random card. Because that random card could be a Sanji, it could be Rayleigh's, it could be Newgate, it could be any card that brings him back into the game, and we don't want to do that. Now he swings 10, and now I'm thinking, whoa, he's only got one more play. I can counter out of this. Yep, drops his 3rd Marco, and now I'm really happy I put that Marco on the top of life, because, I mean, he doesn't need that, or want it. So we're going to Lin him, make him, you know, make the decision before he doesn't have that many cards in his hand. Ends up trashing the Lin. We're just going to swing 7s, 8, 9. As you can see, a PY Pudding curve is really strong, and with the new Lin, you can get quite aggressive, pressuring their life in hand. I mean, it's going to be real hard for him to come back. It's got to be like a Sanji here. Sanji Newgate, but it's the 7-cost Newgate, which just isn't going to get it done. So, you know, if we look at the end of that, we're going to have 4 swings. He's got 1 life and 1 blocker, only 2 cards. That means 7s across the board. 7 eats a blocker, 7 eats life, 7 eats the last 2 cards out of his hand. Eats. So that's 7, 7, 7, and the last 7 should get there. Okay. Alright, let's jump into the next game. We've got a game against Enel. Okay, what's crazy is these pudding games are fast. I mean, the game plan is straightforward. You ramp, and you drop big moms. A lot of decks just can't handle that. So, Enel, another deck that's really good into Dofi. But I mean, we eat up Enel here. We don't care about the gimmick. We drop big bodies and we gain life better than he does, so. And he's gonna take out the Parasparrow. You know, a lot of players just leave the Parasparrow on the board, which is fine, because it doesn't let us find our big moms. But it's also kind of a mistake, because now we just are permanently pressuring him. Yeah, and then we Lin, he loses life, gains it back with Enel. Again, I'm not that worried about him getting an extra life back, because we're just going to permanently drop big moms on him. Yep, so we hit 2 Lins and I'm just going to keep pressuring life. He's going to try and do the same. And he goes all the way back up to 10. We're going to swing 12 into 10. We're going to try and get this off the board, because we can curve out with the the 6-drop Lin. Dumping Onami. We don't need Onami. I mean, some of these cards just aren't useful towards the end of the game, so. Yeah, we've got a lot of swings. And we're gonna drop a Lin here. Yeah, and he is just dead. There you go. Enel. Great matchup. Let's take a look at a little bit harder of one. We've got PY Pudding. Or I mean, sorry. We've got Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy, one of the stronger decks in the format now. But we're going first. We swing 7. And then we're going to drop the Pudding. And look at that. We got an Onami. We know that trigger's coming. So now we can like defend our life a little aggressively. And try and hit a value KO on something. So, you know. He's going to swing 5. We have to counter out here. He drops Magellan. I'm kind of okay with that. It sucks. I would have been able to Katakuri there. That's okay. We'll Viola instead. Ramp that way. And then we can go 5 and 5 using Pudding. And then if he swings into life with Magellan, we're going to pop it. And the Dawn minus on Magellan is only on opponent's turn. So triggers that pop him are super advantageous. So he's going to make a mistake here. 5 into 5. I'm going to let this go and pop Magellan. No Dawn minus. So we are on our way. He goes Luffy-Tar into Sun Goro, which is fine. We're just going to curve out here. Katakuri 5 and 5 again. And now we're set up to start dropping big moms. He's all the way down to 3 cards, 2 life. And that Onami trigger makes me want to run Rocket Luffy as well, but yeah. Swing 7, then he's going to swing 8. I can block with Viola. I could also choose not to. I hit the Parasparrow. I like taking it here because it's going to let me pressure his board a little better here. So I'm going to be able to swing, 7 and a 6, 6 and a 6, and then drop the Charlotte Lin. And I'm going to give up the Flampe probably, because 10 Mom is a little too strong here, and I'm not under a huge threat of dying. And then I bait out a counter there. He certainly should have just blocked with the kid. But yeah, and we're going to put Sanji on top. Again, yeah, I'll get off my soapbox about Lin. I like putting it on top a lot of the time. especially when I know I'm going to drop 10 Mom next turn. So if I really didn't want him to have that card, he's not going to have it. But yeah, we drop down to 2 life. We're just going to probably pressure... waiting for him to block with the kid. He chooses not to, which is a little strange. He should now. He counters out. Man, he's really playing around. He doesn't want this kid to die. But then he blocks with it. So I think he lost value there. Goes 9 into 9. Obviously, we're going to counter out of that. And this game is just kind of wrapped up. We've got 3 life and another 10 Mom coming, so. And now we have another Lin. I mean, we're on 12 Lins. You're gonna see them, so yeah, there you go. PY Pudding can handle a lot of these, you know, other decks in the format. Here we go. Let's take a look at another one. We got Red Purple Luffy. This matchup you would think might be a little harder. They might ramp a little better than us. It's going to be harder to pressure them as they're a 6k leader. But the fact that they're on 3 life is a little bit rough for them because I'm going to get so much value out of my big moms, dropping them low so fast. So. Yep, so he swings into me. I'm going to get a search here. 9-drop Lin, huge. And we get the Dream category on 6 into the ramp with Pudding. So we are going to be able to 10 Mom next turn. And it's already looking like this game is basically over. So, yeah, we're just going to counter out aggressively. And... yeah. Drops a Zoro. He's still only on 7 Dawn, so... let's take out this Bond Clay. Let's pressure life, and let's drop the Big Mom. Okay, it's 3-1. I think a big consideration in this matchup is the 10-drop Luffy from Red Purple Luffy. Definitely a surprise, you know. He can go 7, 12, 10 with that after swinging with board, so. Yeah, let's see what he's got. 7 and 7. I mean, I could let that go. Or not. Bond Clay. Bond Clay's not going to do it. Queen will help. And then he's going to ramp, so he left up Radical Beam Dawn. So here, what do we do? I kind of like dropping the 7-drop Lin. Yep, and then you can go 7, 8, 12. He gives me a life, so I'm really not going to die. Even if he uses Bond Clay and goes 12 into 12. Not a huge problem. And then we're going to claim the One Piece. Just kidding. And search for a 2k counter. So we do actually end up messing with the 2k counters in this list because I think the starter deck provides probably the best 2k counter, the new category one that you're going to be able to play. Also the most affordable one, given that Flampe is ridiculously expensive. And then, yeah, with Relays, because Bond Clay copies base power, it does see the minuses for some reason. So there, I think he was thinking that he'd be able to swing like 4k over, so I would have had to give him 3 cards to stop this. But yeah, so he's just not going to be able to stop my board, and I've got 3 big swings and another big mom in my hand. So yeah, that is PY Pudding. Let's take a look at the list, and I would also like to show the cost of this deck, because I think one of the advantages of playing this version of the list is no bond clay. So it's practically a budget deck. So we're on the 4 Katakuri, 4 Lin, 4 Viola, which this card has also gone way down. It's at like $5 now. 4 Pudding, 4 Parasparrow. This got the reprint in EVO1, so this is a couple bucks now, and it probably is going to go lower. Got the 4 Lin, so this is the most expensive card in the deck, is these 2 Lin-Lins, but you could have gotten this in the starter deck, so some of you might already have this. And then 4 of these, they're $10 a pop. So that's your big spend right here, is these 2. And if you can find a starter deck somehow, you just need 1, and you're good here. Onami is 50 cents. You only need to get your hands on 1 category deck, because you get 4 Brûlée. So these are the counters you can just take from the starter deck. You don't need Flampe, because you never play them. You purely want to counter out with them. I guess You're the One Who Should Disappear is probably another expensive card, given that it's a rare. It's like $2. So let's take a look at the entire cost of this deck. All right. Okay, so here's the list in Limitless, and it's going to give us a cost for this deck. So this one is at $116 on TCGPlayer. And let's see, let's do this live. Why not? $116. Your 50 items. Let's optimize that. Maybe we can do a little better. Boom. If you wanted this deck right now, $116. You probably have a fair bit of these cards, especially if you bought any of the starter decks that are yellow. But yeah, I think this is a great option going into this meta. You're going to be able to beat all the decks that beat Dofi, and then if you play into Dofi, you've got game, because you're playing cards like Onami, which have very relevant triggers that are going to help save you. But yeah, there you go. PY Pudding. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Till next time, peace.